There is a world just beyond our sight, a place wilder than comprehension, where the unimaginable becomes real. A world where the digital manifests in the impossible and in our imaginations. A world never meant to blend with ours. And should this happen, should the two become one, the material and digital fuse together, calamity will ensue. Let's see if our lovely heroes, if our four best friends, if our four digi-destined can stop that from happening. And if they're lucky, they might just get some help along the way. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, depending upon time zone. Ladies, gentlemen, all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet, welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back to With the Will, our Digimon Odyssey. Using this system Animon story, which is incredible. I am Young Foxy, your host for the duration of stream. I use the he, they pronouns, and around me, I have four awesome caretakers who I will be playing all their part in Digimon. It's so hard playing multiple NPCs at one time, but it's fun. I like doing it. Before I get on ranting about that, let's just pass it on around the circle, let people know who we are, who we're playing, where we can be found on the old interwebs, and today's question is, who's the first person your character called a friend? We're going to start over on the top left of your screens with a character who I am so glad to share this table with, because we don't get to hang out enough, and I'm so glad that we get to do it here, because we should do it more often. You know them and love them if you've seen them on Neon Lights Roleplay or other places on the internet, but if you meet them for the first time, I am so glad to offer the opportunity as you meet the incredible, the incomparable, the wholesome, and the lovely Corndog McGraw. Hi, baby.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Tonight I will be playing Isabella Flux, and just having a wonderful time with Lalamon, Sunflamon, and hopefully nothing escalates beyond that point. Please. Scary. And then their first friend. Isabella would never admit it out loud, but it was Artie. Because Artie was like the first one to really like stick up for her and like, make her feel seen when she was just a little kid outside playing with worms.
You know, I'll say it here on broadcast where I know she'll never ever see it in her life, but I think my sister was also my first friend. Like, my first actual friend. My first friend who, like, meant something. There. Now it's on record and she can never say I never said anything nice about her, and she never sees it in the universe. She doesn't.
I hope your mom heard that.
So, outside of that, and speaking of good friends, I'm going to pass the camera on down to one of my absolute best friends. Someone who I'm absolutely so fucking happy to know. So happy to have met. And over the past decade, you heard that right, 10 years of friendship, I have grown to know, I've grown to see change in, and I have seen you merge from a budding, barely able person to an incredible beacon of humanity. Someone who I am honored to call a friend, and I am more honored to share a table with. You, of course, know I'm talking about the incomparable, the incredible, the ostentatious, and the unimaginable. Spree Uzaki.
Hey, fanfare.
Woo!
Hi, everyone. Always good to be back at the table. Tonight I'll be Foxfire, and first person, what do they call it? Well, I'd say they aren't that outgoing in their life, so probably actually Artie, now Artemis, just from getting into gaming in the friend group and all that.
Oh, a lot of friends hanging around this Artemis person. I can't wait to talk more about them in a little bit. Don't worry about that though. For now. Before we get there though, we're going to swing across down the bottom of our screens towards where our captions would be, but aren't currently because we're having tech issues. Don't worry about that right now. But more important than tech issues, we swing across the bottom of our screen to someone who I've gotten to know through tabletop RPGs. And while I've seen several wonderful traits in people, the thing I have seen the most in this person is love. And I mean a love for the creative art. I mean a love for the people around them. I mean a love for doing what they do, and a love for taking care of people while they do that. If you are anyone who is anyone in this space of ours, you know this human being. If you somehow don't, then allow me the pleasure to introduce to you the incredible, the incomparable, and the amazing Classical Glyza.
Hello. Hi. I'm Glyza. I go by they, them. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Classical Glyza. At Twitch, TikTok, everywhere else. But also, sorry, I burped. Also on Blue Sky. Hey, I'm on there. I'm on that fancy Blue Sky thing. I don't know. But I'm here. Today I will be playing Kian. And Kian's first friend, and I'm going to take this from my own life. Kian's first friend was this kid in preschool, and they were best friends. And to the point where their parents thought that they were very cute and would date in the future. But of course, they were just children, and they would hold hands at school and everything, call each other on the phone. It was very adorable. But then Kian had to move to a different city and has never seen that little boy again. Fun fact, I moved back to the same city where I met this little boy, and we met up again. So
wholesome timeline.
Wholesome timeline. We are friends, but he never really let's just say I'm taller than him now. And
Oof.
I like
very
cute. But anyway, that's me. That's Kian's first friend.
Well, nice to know.
A childhood boyfriend that never really turned into anything else.
You know, I think a lot of us have childhood friends we meet one time in one place and that shape us in some way, but we never encounter ever again. I still have one I can remember from a laundromat one time. I'll tell you a story someday. But before I do that, we have one last storyteller to meet, and that is, of course, at the top right of your screen, and in my opinion, at the top of any single possible cast list you could put for any possible show. If you've seen me doing this thing, you've seen this person on screen, because I will go through any effort to put them on any show possible, because the world should see more of them. I'll blabber about them more later, though. As I'm, of course, talking about the incredible, the incomparable, the creative, the unstoppable, and the amazing legendary Vermin.
Never hire me to play D&D. I'll shank you. I'm Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin all over the internet. Tonight I'm going to be playing Artemis Fox. And yeah. So I'm going off of the wording of the question here, which is the first person that already called friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Artemis has ever called his sister his friend. But I think that Artemis's first friend was a girl who lived like 2 doors down, and it was also like, I imagine it's the kind of thing where there's like the 2 fuck siblings and this other kid, and they would hang out and they would do all the stuff together, including like making friendship bracelets and hanging out and looking at the like fake makeup kits that their neighbor got, because her family got those kinds of things. Checking out the oh geez, what's it called? Hit clips. Listening to some hit clips together.
Yo! Holy shit! Hit clips just threw me back in a way that, like, in a weird, strange way. Wow. Okay.
So, realistically, hit clips is way too early for Artemis and Isabella, but that's the vibe.
The jokes
the vibe
matters.
Listening to hit clips together.
Well, hit clips nostalgia aside, folks, if you don't know who I am by now, I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as Fear of Fox, Philly's finest, and I play everyone that's not these 4 incomparable storytellers themselves or the characters that they take on and embody. Speaking of them, last episode, our party realigned themselves with the human world, having to take some care to hide their newfound friends, and in finding themselves not all in one place, but instead finding themselves scattered all around the world back in their own hometowns. They did, however, with some ingenuity, discover an incredible new ability. Namely, that their devices let them transit through the internet to anywhere else on the planet, perhaps even between realms. Using that, they managed to regroup with one of their friends who, let's say, maybe needed the help. As Kian was back in their home and burdened with all the needs of their family, the dark energy in them activated, sending Doramon into a rampage. He ascended into a terrifying new form, a mega level in War Greymon, and began to rampage Kian's home village. But with the help of friends, who all came to offer assistance, not with fighting, but with taking burdens away from Kian, from reminding them that sometimes what it means to be reliable is that you are taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And that means letting other people stand up for you too. With all that resolved, Doramon gained control of themselves and assumed their new form, the majestic Dora Greymon. And well, our party's pretty much resolved there after getting some Jollibee and resting for the evening. We're gonna check back in with them in just a moment. But before we do that, I'm thinking I might have to do a little bit of, let's call it scene setting. So let's do that, shall we? The room is dim. There are those large lights like an office building over the ceiling, keeping light around the area, but they're low. The man prefers his patience, his quiet. He sits and thinks, looks over plans and schematics. It doesn't seem to make sense. A world just beyond our own? A place, a realm, just outside of the material. And containing so much coherent energy, so much background radiation that could fuel the human power grid for generations. It doesn't seem real. It can't be real. He should get rid of all of this, abandon this concept, scrap the project, go home and talk to his daughter. All of that seems to wash out of his mind as the door opens and a man walks in. He wears a suit, pristine white, a red tie and a green shirt, olive green. His hair is nondescript, his face nondescript, his demeanor nondescript. But a name tag on his shirt has the word Data Corp on it. The man walks in, taking time for contemplation. The CEO of Goliath Industries responds, preoccupied with... It doesn't seem relevant now, so forget it. Are we prepared? Yes, of course. I will need a bit of time with the specimen, but assuming that everything is functioning, we can launch within the next few months. The convergence event should be occurring shortly. We'll know. And he says, I'm not sure I understand any of this, and I'd rather be getting some rest. The man turns his head. So do so. Go home. Rest for the evening. The man puts a hand towards his head. Indeed. You will be remaining here with the specimen? Indeed. I have tests to finalize. And the man gets up, walks away, when suddenly he begins to, I guess, second guess, think, and then continue walking. A man who will later that evening get a text from his daughter, a call from his daughter, and then make a choice that may alter, perhaps, the entire digital world. Walks out. The other man stands in the room, not moving until the other occupant leaves, and then quietly steps toward a door, opens it. He stands in the doorway and thinks for some time. We are so close. So close. It was not easy getting here. Sacrifices had to be made. And the camera will briefly show a flash of a place, not the human world, but the digital. where a giant Digimon made of bones and anger rests in the ground. Another, where a giant Digimon made of hatred and demonic presence explodes in holy energy. Sacrifices indeed. There were plans that had to be sowed. We next see that man in a temple, placing large panes of a crystalline colored substance over altars, obscuring them from the people who would claim them soon. Plans indeed. And there is still, he says, looking into the room now, where he sees a massive gray-black machine, cording and pipework connecting it to the outer walls, and in its middle, a large octagonal gem-like construct, holding in it a hunched, shadowed figure. And there is still a folly to be made. The figure shifts, digital red lightning coursing all around it, becoming blackened, and more data towers rise in the distance. Follies, indeed. And we'll smash cut right back into where our friends are. Friends, time could have passed if you wanted to, or it could have not. You could all still easily be in the Philippines, relaxing and hanging out with Kian, or you could have taken the time to show Kian how to warp gate and take yourself somewhere else, say someone else's home, maybe somewhere more discreet, or whatever you feel. I leave that up to you all to decide. So whoever feels like taking the initiative to describe where you're at, what you're all up to, and what you're talking about, I assume, given what you all just witnessed and what's happening now. As I say so often to start your sessions off, my darlings, the scene is yours.
If I may, now that Kian has heard that everyone is traveling through stuff, Kian looks at everyone and says, so, here's what I want to do. I want to go to America. I want to see what it looks like. Can you take me there? Like, I'm sure my parents will be fine. I'm sure whatever is happening here, they'll get over it because of like a giant dragon, whatever. I want to see your homes. Or Hawaii. Whichever one, really. I don't really care.
I don't know any computers in Hawaii.
I want to go to Canada and see snow.
There's still some snow in the Rockies where we live.
Take me to the snow.
Artemis looks over at Isabella. Your computer or mine?
We share one, don't we?
You guys both have separate devices, have separate personal devices.
Okay. Never mind.
We have like one big computer and then school.
Yeah, school laptops and some
You
shit.
need
Either
a
one.
separate one to be goated healer for 2069.
I have a secret computer. Let's use yours.
Artemis pulls out the Digivice, smashes in the appropriate MAC address, and then like shoves it at the nearest largest computer.
You'll notice two things, Artemis. One, you don't really seem to have to type in a MAC address. It seems like you just have to think really hard about your home computer, and you know where it is, so you're pretty certain, okay, places I know, computers I know where they are and know what they look like and know the computer, I can get to no problem. I can probably go just about anywhere else if I can think about it hard enough. I might not know what computer I pop out of or how I pop out of there, but I can probably go just about anywhere. The second thing you notice, you don't need a computer screen to go through. It's anything connected to the internet. Phones, an LCD in a town square connected to like some like wireless network. Anything.
I imagine that we're discovering that second one because somebody's internet connected like hearing aid spawns the portal right next to us. Oh, sorry, ma'am. Let's go quick.
The old woman who was strolling by just stops, looks at the portal, looks at you, rubs at her eyes, and just. I stopped smoking years ago. You'd think I wouldn't be feeling side effects anymore, and just keeps strolling on her way.
All right, back home it is. One thing I do want to tell you, Kian, snow sucks.
I like snow.
Garbage.
Glyza knows this. Kian doesn't.
Yes.
Kian will find out very soon. It's gonna be exciting.
Is this an opinion that I should change based on where my character grew up? I like snow.
I also like snow, but I grew up on the East Coast, so snow is not horrible here. It can get bad, but it's not like horrendous. So I don't know.
I grew up in the tropics and I experienced snow for the first time. I was very excited. 5 minutes in, I was done.
You gotta build
Like,
up your snow.
can we never
stamina.
have snow ever again? So that's gonna be Kian's reaction. Surprise, surprise! It's gonna be exciting.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, snow's great. Get through, go.
Awesome.
And we all tumble out into the living room, kitchen zone. There is still a pack of soda on the counter that we didn't grab on the way out.
Fire
I was able to fuck one with my toe.
Mm.
The other one I couldn't reach.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fire's gonna just go over and like motion to grabbing one and be like, "Can I have one?" All right.
Yeah, there's one in the garage.
Mom says guests can always have more, and we're supposed to limit ourselves. So I'm blaming you for the other case.
Behind you, your Digimon also begin to slide through and manifest. Jilliamon, who's already been here, goes first, immediately slings a hand over to grab yet another soda and crack it, and starts opening it. Terriermon, who hops through with Scarlet, is just like, what? And just like snatches it from Jilliamon, takes a sip and is like, oh man! And starts going back at it. Lalamon, who was already in Isabella's sort of tucked in, again, has also already been here, is pretty much just chilling out, making sure everyone is taking care of themselves, and actually hops out and begins to start, like, tidying up, like, picking up the spilled over box and putting cans back in it. Doramon and Kian, who, you know, are kind of still a bit woozy from transformation, Doramon slides through with no problem and doesn't seem to be noticing the house too much, as Doramon is still babbling nonstop about how cool they looked in their transformation. Just, did you see me? I was so big, and the head armor and the wings and whoa!
Ian is like expressing the same thing. You look so cool. Does it have to be like do you have to be really angry to get there, or can you just get there like normally?
And Doramon will have their stomach rumble really hard and just, I think you just have to not be hungry enough, honestly.
No, not hungry, angry. Because you were quite angry when that happened, and I don't want to piss you off to like get you to look that cool again. Just wondering if that's the emotional thing. If we could train you to just like look cool. I mean, you look great now. Don't worry about that.
He kind of looks a bit. It's just like, I don't know, maybe. And you're looking at your device, kind of like as you're doing this, and you notice that like in your sort of like repertoire of abilities and forms for Doramon, you'll see after Darugamon, there's a third. So you'll all will notice this in your device. You'll have a sort of roster of your Digimon partners, which has their first form by default spinning in front of them, and then there's their champion forms you've already seen, and for almost all of you now, there's a third, which for you, Fire, is still a blocked out or grayed out form. You can't see what it is, but the rest of you now shows your ultimate forms. Lady Devamon, Angelomon, and now Dora Greymon. You'll notice, all of you though, there's a fourth option, a fourth gray spot in your list that is not colored in at all.
We can go
Even
bigger.
for Kian?
Hmm?
Even for Kian?
Yep, even for Kian. All of you have. So again, Kian, for you have the 3 filled out. Like your that new one, Duragramon is there. For you, meaning like, yeah, you probably can definitely go to this form without having to be angry again. Just might take,
talking about the like, what's his face? The
if you're going for Wargreymon, well,
yeah.
It's funny because you're remembering Wargreymon registered as a Mega level, and Duragramon registered as an Ultimate, which you're pretty sure getting the handle on is one lower than Mega. So you're looking at your 4th one, and without you rolling, I'll say you would know for a fact. Okay, so that 4th one is our Mega form, right? But you're looking at the silhouette. You're really looking at it, and it looks kind of humanoid. Like it looks like a person, but you remember Wargreymon had those long claws on his armor and that dragon-like head, and
I would never forget what Wargreymon looks like.
fair enough. Someone's gonna have to clip that. Fuck.
I could never ever. Not me, no. Not a day in my
no,
life.
he's hot.
The thirst here is unreal.
Okay. But looking at that humanoid figure in front of you, it doesn't really look like Wargreymon. At least, maybe it does look like a giant armored human. So you're like, maybe it's just with Wargreymon, but from different angles, so I can't see it right. It's grayed out. I can't wait till the definition. So you're not sure, but you're maybe like, I don't know for certain if that's Wargreymon in my 4th form. Who knows?
Okay. I'm very proud of you. You look really great. When you turned into that flying dragon thing, you looked awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I hope and so kind of like reacting to Artie's we can go bigger, just jumps over and just, I hope I get even more wings.
I want you to have more wings too.
I hope I get more wings.
I want you to get more wings.
I think you had an appropriate number of wings.
Lachlan, who is still cleaning, looks up and just, well, I don't know, what's an appropriate number of wings? She says, and like in the anime, we get like a chibi, like drawn arrow up to Lalamon's thought bubble, which has Angelomon, or like a drawn version of Angelomon, who clearly has like 4 pairs of wings. And she's just like, well, how many's too many?
How many?
How many is too many? Not enough. There's never gonna be enough.
I was directed at Jellymon.
Jellymon's just like, do we even have? And now Jellymon's doing the same thing of just like boop 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 boop, looking at Lady Devimon and seeing like the black tattered mass behind her that's kind of like a cloak and kind of wings. She's just, and then like there are like words popping up around that are like just like wings question mark, wings question mark, wings question mark, cloak question mark.
Claw, strappy bits.
Scarlet, who is kind of looking around, just, oh, okay, wings aside. So we know we can travel around, and we know that we are back here in the human world. We also need to recognize the kind of elephant in the room. Digimon just attacked the human world, and people saw it. We all got there because you all saw a news report. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Maybe they'll think it was some promotional thing for a monster movie.
And when people go there and ask for eyewitness accounts,
then they will know that we were there. And that's also not good.
And he just, she just kind of.
I've read a lot of books about this. Human beings, and this is when Kian just sort of like, human beings are gonna just fool themselves into thinking it's not real. It happens in a lot of fantasy books. We're gonna be fine. They're just gonna doubt themselves, and they're gonna think that it's all just hallucination, mass hallucination, and they're gonna explain away like in earthquakes and all of that. This is what's gonna happen. That is the normal thing that happens in TV and in media, and that is what's going to happen here. So we don't have to worry about it.
I hate to admit that now that I know that David is real, I'm kind of inclined to believe, Scarlet, that this is maybe something we should have a modicum of concern about.
And she goes, then I hate to make it worse, but I've been working on a theory.
Oh, no.
So, before things got bad, not we were all lost in some other world surrounded by giant monsters bad. That was bad. But I mean bad. Hole in the sky and data towers everywhere.
The everything going to shit.
Yes, before that, you all remember, well, there were spikes in ambient data energy in the air we were tracking. And before then, Fire, you and Artemis were gone for a bit, but you all remember, we got signal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did any of you talk to anyone in that time? Did anyone pick up, answer a text?
I think I did.
From who?
I don't remember.
This
is Glide talking.
Your
I don't remember.
Your brother.
Your little brother.
My brother.
You
Cool.
told to lock your door, yeah.
My little brother.
And she just, well, he's not going to leak a story to the media or press or do anything worse, but, well, I also got in touch with someone. It was my father. And it was right before the holes in the sky opened.
And you heard him say something after the call was over?
Barely. Something about it being time? About him seeing the sign. I don't know what that meant. He's been acting so weird ever since he met that man.
What man? Your dad's gay?
And he just... She just... Not that I know of. Let's focus.
Also, what if it's time, like, it's lunchtime? I see the sign of the food court. Maybe that's what he meant.
I see the sign, and it opened up my eyes. That's usually how these things go.
Exactly.
And she says, exactly. That's part of what I think I'm worried about. My father, a few years ago, met a man who worked for a company called Data Corp. I don't know a whole lot about them, just that they are a mass media and data collection agency that supposedly were working in a collaboration project that my father wouldn't talk much about. It was never anything major, and he said he might even consider scrapping the project. But, well, right before we all left, transported, I swore he was saying they were just on the verge of finishing things. Something about digital connection and mass... Oh, I simply am not fully aware. If only we could get back to his... Artemis.
That's me.
You had David bringing my laptop over to his office, yes?
I think that was you, not
no,
me.
You
were
had
pretty
David.
insistent.
Huh.
But I'll take the credit. Yeah, it was all me.
Am I remembering things bad? And then you'll all watch as Scarlet suddenly, almost like you're playing a game and someone just had bad latency, Scarlet becomes glitchy for a half second. And then back. What's that? What?
That's not good.
I'm gonna poke her.
You? Oh,
Huh, I thought you'd go through.
no,
Are you okay?
I, what? And then you'll see Terriermon jump up, and his ears will kind of flare and just... Something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no shit. She just twitched like a parenthetical media reference.
and she kind of just immediately everyone kind of falls into a quiet for a bit. Renamon kind of like, who has been very quiet this whole time, kind of watching from a corner, just keeping her arms folded, looks over and just, Terriermon, do you sense an enemy? And he just, I don't think so. Just a real weird feeling in the air. And it gets quiet for a little bit before Scarlett's phone goes off. And she pulls it out, looks at it, scrolls at something. I have to get going.
What happened?
It's my dad. He needs me to meet him right now.
Okay, but like we're going with you, right? You just went,
Glitchy.
She says,
you just pulled a Wreck-It Ralph. Like that's
a good movie reference.
That's...
She says, I don't want to go alone, but he's not in the office right now. He's home. You were all about to go to the office. If I can hold him there, that gives you all more time without a risk of being caught. Well, as much of a risk of being caught. It's better if I go by myself.
Well, couldn't Terriermon at least go with you?
Terriermon hops up and just, I'm not leaving your side, no matter what. And she wilts a little and just, well, that sounds settled. I'm sorry to cut and run like this, but he sounds urgent. I'll call as soon as I can, see if I can get any more information. If you're all going to the office, she kind of very quickly pulls out a piece of paper and sketches like a rough, looks almost like a tower, but it's kind of got some angles in it. It's a model of Goliath HQ. Any of you who have seen it on the internet can tell. She says, there's a surface entrance around this area here. You can sneak in the back. You can sneak out there. You have to take the fire escape. It's a long way down, about 110 floors, but it's better than the elevators. And assuming you don't have access to a computer, probably the stealthiest way out.
Hold on. 110. Are you suggesting that there's a building with an external fire escape of 110 floors?
Well, not exactly. It's multi-layered. So the fire escape goes down a few layers and then breaks off into a main floor and then becomes a fire escape. It's a tiered fire escape to make you down several levels. Okay, so this is where I revealed that I've never actually been in a skyscraper before, so I don't know how fire escapes work at skyscrapers.
So in a skyscraper, there's a concrete tube basically, and in case of a fire, there's nothing on the outside of the building, so you just go down the concrete stairs.
Noted.
And there's fire doors at every level.
Well, then that's what he's talking about. Or she's talking about. I keep saying he. I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about that thing.
Like 110 floors is a lot.
Yes,
also,
that's true.
So
but
if we're going to...
Well,
are we just trying to leave the building once we get in there, or are we investigating, or what?
That's up to you all. I'm just offering you the easy escape. I have to get going now, though, so you can debate that amongst yourselves.
All right, but keep in touch.
I'll do what I can. Please be safe.
Safe is my middle name.
And
no, it is not.
She turns and holds out her digivice to the computer in front of her. A portal opens in front, and she and Terriermon rush through it, and it closes behind them, slams shut, leaving the four of you and your Digimon in the room by yourselves.
You don't think that like David and his sister would be going to drop the laptop off, right? That's an Artemis question.
Why? Also, who's David and his sister?
Well, David's
boyfriend. We met David.
You mean he exists?
He's real. He's real.
Everyone.
And he has a sister?
Yes.
And it's a cute sister.
He was kind of mad about people being over and being noisy, so we did have to kind of leave in a rush, but
Yeah, but like it's semantics. It's semantics.
Davette?
I hope that's not her name.
We never got David's sister's name. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Make it David.
It's not David. I'm sorry. It's just not that. That's just not what it's going to be.
It's in my head canon now.
Until
my
proven
only
otherwise.
His name is David.
David's sister is David.
That's too bad.
It's in the notes now, baby.
The notes are law.
I don't take notes as a GM, so that's more accurate than you think.
Yes. Corndog's notes are the law of the land because
Let's hope not.
no one else takes
Because I
notes.
definitely wrote the lyrics about "Cause I Got High" while drawing this 2 sessions ago.
It's law.
I
It's
love
canon.
you so much, Corn Dog.
It's
Don't
canon.
ever change.
I know who I am. I'm a stoner kid.
So,
if we want the best odds of seeing David's sister, we should probably go now and meeting David, because you haven't, and that's an important thing that we're doing as a friend group.
It's to prove that he exists. To me.
To you.
Yeah.
We'll definitely meet up with David at some point.
Laptop.
So,
Go.
you look at your computer, face the screen, and once again, a portal shimmers to life in front of you all, digitizing. You all step through. Light surrounds you and envelops you. And as it settles, you find yourselves popping out to a pristine metropolitan office made, it's got, the standard, like your marble wood, or not even marble, it's mahogany wood desk. It's mahogany wood. There's a table in the far corner, a couch of black, of black. It's not leather. It's like a black sewn material, but like a really like polyester or something nice, like a sewn polyester, something pretty. I don't know. Offices aren't a thing I'm in.
I imagine
gonna
it's
check if there's a mini fridge.
Yes, but
yeah.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. As the moment you all pop out, you'll see a few things. One, the laptop was closed. It was like you all are still able to pop out, but like it like you all pop out of kind of like the slit in between and slide into life. As you all do so, you'll all immediately notice that someone jumps back, and I want to know who is the first of you that tries to speak. You would think. Who's the first one to be like, where are we? Everybody here? Anything.
Hi.
A hand literally slams itself over your mouth, and you look and see David with the widest eyes possible being like, you're all early.
Do we all see that?
All of you here now see David slam his hands in front of Fire's face and just go, shh.
I'm about to punch him because I've never met David.
I'm just gonna hold up a hand to Keen, just like, wait.
And I'll stand in front of you going like this, just miming like.
Yeah. David with the hand still over Fire's mouth will just point at Kian and just.
Our friend Kian.
And will remove the hand from Fire and just. Throws a hand wave and then points to his intern name tag. It says Goliath Industries on it and has the name David printed. And just
wait, you intern here?
Anything I got in the office?
I don't know.
Oh man,
Scarlett didn't tell us that.
Yeah, of course she doesn't talk about me very much.
Well,
no, it's literally nonstop.
She does talk.
It's
about
all
you.
she talks about.
It's just we always joke about you not existing, and now that feels a little less funny.
Well, if I didn't exist, you all wouldn't be in this office right now, would you?
Thanks for existing.
Glad.
Yeah, appreciate that. Should we
You think, therefore, you are.
And she goes, now that I both think and am, I'm going to use my amming to do you all one more favor. Scarlett's father's partner is in that, or no, Scarlett's father's partner, co-worker, assistant, whatever that guy is.
No, say partner. Say partner.
Scarlett's father's partner is in that room right now. And if he comes out...
He is gay!
Not important right now. Also, I don't know. Not important right now. He's in that room, and if he comes out, he's going to see one person who is maybe kind of supposed to be in here, and 4 people who very much shouldn't, and their 4 weird monster friends.
How long do you need?
Flyer's gonna just be like, what do you mean 4? As Renamon is just nowhere to be seen.
and he just looks around, just, the fox is a ninja? Later, that's cool. Anyway, I'm gonna buy you all time. So he puts like a closet under the desk, so the place can just hide real quick. I'd like you all to now roll an appropriate stat that you feel is helpful for your character deciding how well they hide. I would assume this is by default a smart stat of something, but if you could say dexterity or something appropriate for like contorting yourself a proper way, or...
You're thinking of wrong games. It's logic, reflex, and spirit.
There we go. So I would say by default it's logic. If you want to say it's reflex for like trying to like contort yourself to hide somewhere, or spirit to just like really convincingly look like you belong here, even though you super don't, then I'll let that. Otherwise, get rolling.
Are there ceiling tiles that can be like pushed up?
It's an American office. Of course there is.
Yeah. Gonna try and
Question. How do we roll it?
Okay.
You are going to, so whatever stat you're rolling, you take that number of d6s and roll. 4 or higher are success. Your target number for all of this, friends, is 5.
All right. If 4 or higher is a success, right?
As a reminder, spend bond points to get more
What
dice.
if you only have a bond point left?
If you're talking about
lunch, we hung out.
You've refueled
your
your
bond points.
I was
getting lunch is the most important way to refuel.
You try to hide and have a bond break episode.
You all get rolling while I find us some good sneak music.
Also, if you can justify using your like features or talents or whatever, you can get. Is it an extra die or is it boost?
It's
feature is boost. I think the talents are also boost. Or are they?
I'll figure it out. Doesn't matter. Just roll.
Talents are die because they can have ranks.
Yeah, there it is. That it's 3. You're super right. 4 successes. Okay.
So we can roll one more die if we try to just pretend like we belong.
Yep.
Can I lean into my friendly face?
Oh, of course you can.
Excellent.
I'm using my
Pretend
"Don't mess with me" from Delinquents to conceal the truth, and I am also using my Blithe charm.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well,
I am also just like I like leap behind a desk, and like unplug it so I can be like, oh, IT, right?
I'm gonna. Fire's gonna try and do the cool ninja shit like Renamon and just be cool on their own. So I'm gonna use Like I Care to just be cool and just like go up in the ceiling tiles and like hide against the walls.
I'm gonna sit down in one of the cubicles and pretend I belong there by starting to type and look really cool.
So, numbers. I got a 4 from Kian, 5 from Artie, 5 from Isabella.
With 1 6 involved.
With 1 6.
Actually, sorry, that was a 6.
6 is a 2. 6 is a 2.
Sixes count for double.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 6s.
Oh yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
So that takes you from a 4 to a 6.
So everyone passes.
Yeah.
So
I did spend a bond point.
So here's what happens. Kian, you are able to just like slide down to like the secretary's desk and just like start typing away at things with your head kind of behind the desk. Artie, you are under the main desk, kind of like at the computer, just trying to look like an IT worker. Fire, you scramble up to the file cabinet and use that to get inside of a ceiling panel to actually hide. Isabella, you're trying to like, okay. You thankfully look over and see a broom, so you grab that and just like I work in cleaning. I'm cleaning. I'm just not in uniform right now.
Heading to the office plants.
Exactly.
Also, I want to imagine Renamon is just hanging out up above the ceiling tiles.
Yes. So, as you're all sitting there quietly, Renamon just looks over and just like, as you're all sitting there quietly, your Digimon all scrambled to like hide themselves where they can. Literally, Lalamon falls into a file cabinet and just like closes it behind her. Jilliamon just flattens against like under a desk area. Doramon, who has the Artie.
Jilliamon, because she can like flop her body inside of her jelly cap, is just in the hood of the hoodie.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Looking extremely neck pillow like.
Doramon
in the overalls.
Mm-hmm. Doramon, who would have the toughest time hiding as he is a big furry dinosaur, does the smartest thing he can do and just barrels into the supply closet. So he has to literally quickly shut it as you notice. There's two office doors. One that has a window in front of it. It's a one-way glass, so clearly it goes out to the rest of the building. Another behind it, at least to some other room in the back. That back door suddenly, as you all hide, David basically rushes to that back door as it begins to open, and a man walks out. His face seems very nondescript. You can't really make out any notable or memorable features. He is dressed in a white suit with a olive green shirt and a red tie. He walks out, looks over at David, and just good afternoon, Mr. Oh, I don't remember your name. I'm so sorry. Oh no. It looks like looking at the name tag as he's again. It has that Data Corp logo on it, but there is no tag actually, no name. The man looks at David, looks around at the room, all of you, looks at the supply closet, looks back down, and walks away. David just, actually, Mister, if I could ask you questions about, and he just, as he follows him out of the door, turns back and just says, I'm gonna go now. I'll keep him busy, make it fast though, and then just follows him out of the door, bothering the man with questions nonstop. As you all suddenly realize, you have this office and space to yourselves.
I'm the only one he didn't look at.
As a player here, what are we doing here again? Why are we here in their office?
There's something nefarious going on at Goliath Heavy Industries.
That's awesome.
Is that all we know? Like, there's just something evil.
We know there's
like
something...
we know that it's like connecting, like it's one of the big connection points between the digital world and the actual world too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of coincidences.
Ian is going to try and look for like computers that look suspicious.
Okay, it's actually a good segue. Why don't you all? Actually, you know what? We just hit about the hour mark. So how about let's go into a break. Give you all a few minutes to decide on your game plan. We'll come back so you can all tell me what you're doing, and then we'll investigate and see some stuff happening. Before we leave, a very small, brief cutaway scene as we see a portal open up in front of a computer in a home, and Scarlet step out with Terriermon behind her. They are in a bedroom, which they step out of very quickly, straighten their subs up, and check their outfit to make sure that it's all straightened and everything. They walk up to a bedroom door, or I guess like a home office door, more accurately. Go to knock, and before they can even knock, a voice just says, "I'm certain that's you, Scarlet. Come in." And she grabs the doorknob, turns the door, and opens to step in. And as she goes to step in, Terriermon stops and just is like, What do I? And she turns and stops, freezes in the doorway, turns to maybe like go and grab Terriermon as if to keep him like stuff. As Terriermon stops and goes stock still and falls over like a stuffed animal. She leans over to pick him over, and the voice just says, "And you can bring your small friend with you as well." And with that, we'll be right back. See you all in just a few minutes. Bye-bye. And we return to tonight's episode of With the Will. Our party has snuck themselves into Goliath headquarters and are in the office of the CEO of Goliath HQ, of Goliath Industries, Heavy Industries themselves, Scarlett's dad, who's not home as he's having a convo with his daughter and, by his own words, her small friend.
Well, he is home.
That's true. So, with that being said, our party wants to do some investigating, and I don't want to keep them from learning the truth too much longer. So, let's get right back into it. Guys, why don't you tell me what your friends are getting up to as they're looking around. Tell me what you're looking for, where you're going to look for, and I'll tell you what to roll, if there's any rolling to do.
Glyza, your sound is not coming through.
Oh.
I am looking for a computer that looks evil.
Okay. So you're looking just for like any computer that looks kind of like off, like it's not supposed to be there. Anything that looks like computerized and looks like, all right, this probably looks a bit like it's suspicious kind of thing.
Just the term that Andy, sorry, not Andy, that Kian uses is evil. That's pretty much.
I like evil as a term.
An evil computer.
So then,
like one that gives Megatron vibes.
So then I think your role is going to be either spirit or brains, probably logic if you're looking for like just like logic or spirit. Either one I think is what I'm going to look for from you.
Well,
Who
logic.
else? Cool. Then roll and hold the result. Let me know it when I come back to you in just a moment. Who else is doing some looking around? Isabella, what you looking for?
I'm doing some looking around by checking the vibe. Like Lalamon and I are little vibe antennae. Going around trying to make sure there's no dark structures similar to what we felt when we were in the digital world. So seeing if any of that bad energy has already leaked over here, or maybe if it even came from here and that's what's leaked into there.
All right. So that's probably going to be definitely a spirit roll, I'm going to say, from you as you're trying to like kind of vibe out what's going on around here.
Thank you for not making me do a logic.
What does that mean to you? Having said that, Fire or Artie, where is the where's the move?
Jellymon and I are going to cruise on over to anything that is like a stack of papers, anywhere where there's a whiteboard, and try to make sense of it, which we're great at.
Sounds like that's gonna also be a logic roll from you.
Excellent. I'm good at those.
And Foxfire, what are you up to?
Fire is gonna raid the fridge for just whatever alcohol is there, because it's been a long fucking day, and go press open the door and check out the room that weird dude in the white suit came out of.
The mini fridge is 2-layered. It's actually, no, sorry, we'll come around. So here's what we'll do this. So you're going to check the mini fridge, and then you're going for the door. So as a reminder for everybody, we're going to have a logic or spirit roll from Kian, a spirit roll from Isabella, and a logic roll from Artemis. Fire, I don't need a roll from you, actually. Friends, everybody rolled?
Yep.
Yeah. I have a question. Does unveiling secret plans count as defying authority?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so then I got 3.
Cool. 4.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 as well.
3, 4, and 4. That actually works out perfectly. Awesome. So, let's do this in order. Alrighty, you and Jellymon pop open the file cabinets and start rifling through them, pulling out documents, looking for anything with this Data Corp labeled. You find at first a lot of financial documents, progress, quarter reports, contracts, contract language, things like that. Lots of documentation on that. Nothing you really care about. It's all boring and wordy. You're not really sure you're going to find anything because you're getting through pile after pile after pile of paperwork. The only thing you find that might be even slightly interesting, even slightly interesting to you, would be There's one document you find, which you know is effectively like a research report. And while you don't get a lot of the wording in there, the title grabs you and some other wording in there. The title is exotic power sources, exotic extraworldly power sources accessing the digital realm, which suddenly makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of weird wording and sciencey gobbledygook you wouldn't get, but a few things stick out. It seems like the overall purpose of this research paper is talking about how energy coefficient is the single by its proposal, energy coefficient is the single most relevant statistic to measure human progress by, and has been for the past several decades, past 150 years maybe. Whoever can control the flow of information and secondarily power, or literal energy coefficient, can be a dominating force in the global market, effectively rule the world economically. There is no power source humanity is capable of accessing that is stable enough, that is efficient enough, that is capable enough to harness this, to achieve this goal. So the paper proposes that the limits have to be pushed. And thus, there are examples of, data readings, energy readouts you can register by the look at the graphs, Artie. And they look suspiciously like some of the readings you were getting from your Digivice when scanning the energy in the air before the portals in the air opened up. They seem almost like exact matches for that.
I meant, because I was not scanning the air at the time. They are exactly like the readouts that Scarlett sent me before she left.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
I'm not good at many things, but I can match graphs.
So you're looking at that. Next, we look over at Kian. The camera looks at Artemis pull this out. Slide down the paper as we next kind of slide the camera over to watch Kian and Doramon scurrying around. Doramon literally sniffing and looking around. Kian just kind of opening things, looking for computers. There's a couple computers and devices in here. Most of them seem perfectly normal. Before you give me, I tell you what's next. Kian, how much do you know about computers and servers and things?
Only enough to play in them.
No. Then you would know that a server, because you play online, a server is usually, especially for most companies, if there's a server, which is the thing you're looking for in this case, besides a computer, they're usually kept in separate rooms because they have to be kept cool and in their own space. There's a server room companies will have in this case. Just behind the desk, Artie is looking in. You see what looks kind of like a server block. It's a bit smaller, but it's a server block that kind of looks like it's built into the wall. It's chrome black with some lights and panels going on it. It also looks way high tech.
Cool. I'm gonna look at Doramon and I'm gonna go and say, that looks Megatron-y, and I'm going to take out my Digivice. Do you think if I plug this in, we get to download stuff from it?
Doramon's like, I don't know who Megatron is, but I mean, your thing does cool things when you plug it in and stuff, so probably.
All right, and that's what I do, without question.
You're going to do that, and you'll find that the first thing that happens is that your Digivice sort of seems to draw in information and power from this server tower quickly, and it almost overloads it. You have to pull it out before it would cause some sort of issue. But as you're looking at the screen, you're noticing that it appears to light up with a map that shows a bunch of it shows a world. Not a world that looks like Earth. In fact, you're almost certain immediately looking at it. It's maybe a map of the digital world, and there are black dots all over it. Probably where black towers are spawning at. You can see all of them. Hundreds of them. You then see that map kind of get overlaid with another map, and that map very much looks like Earth. And then it kind of closes away. You don't really get anything weird or bad happening from it, but that is sort of the only thing, the thing that happens to your device as you scan it.
Cool.
Next, Isabella. You're vibing out. You're feeling for bad vibes. You and Lalamon are you're kind of closing your eyes and like literally just like feeling out for anything. Lalamon is looking up at you at first like, what are you? Oh, and then turns and closes her eyes too. You can see her like antenna kind of flare up a bit. She's kind of starting to like feel out a little bit. You're not getting any immediate bad vibes from anything. Nothing really seems to be happening too much. It's all kind of just simple, muted. You're feeling that strength in your friends, though. In fact, you're feeling that glow, that warmth you felt in you and in Artemis before you two, stepped on to fight, before you two evolved and got your ultimate forms. You're feeling that same glow kind of come from Kian, that same resolute power coming and spreading out from them. You're not feeling it from Fire at all. Not in the slightest. Not yet. But as you're looking around and feeling for things, Fire, you're going for the door. That door, the other door, the door behind the office, the other room. You open it. The lights are off, so it's dark and you can't see anything in the room. But you step in, try to see what's happening. And then, in that moment, several things happen. Isabella, you feel a rush of that same dark energy you felt from the dark towers from previous things in the digital world. You feel its energy rush out. It comes and emanates from that server tower that Kian is looking at. Kian and Artemis, you all don't really see anything happen. You do feel that kind of creep down your spine, that weird feeling of negative energy that you've both been touched by at this point. Just as Fire steps through and the door, without anyone touching it, slams shut behind them. Fire, that's not what happens for you. Fire, you step through the door. You step through into the room, and the room is still all black, entirely black. You can't see anything. But you turn around, and through the door, well, you can still see the door. The doorway is still open, and through it, in the room, you can still see your friends are all still in the room. It's pitch black in the room you're currently in. You can't see anything. It's like you're walking on midnight. But behind you, you can still see the door wide open and your friends on the other side hanging out. What do you do?
Pull out my Digivice to try and use that as a flashlight.
You can see out in the distance, like light comes around you. The room you're in is a large, it looks like an office maybe, or it was an office, but it's been repurposed, hollowed out. The floor is torn up. It's all metal. The walls are paneled. There's cables running from the walls and server panels all along the walls to something in the middle, some massive device in the middle that you can't really make out too well, as it feels like the shadow is literally swallowing the light around you. Anything else? You said you put out the device. Anything else?
Are there any like light switches or anything, or can
you
I
can't
scan
really
anything with my Digivice?
You can't make out the walls well enough. And as you look at your Digivice, the screen is all black. You can still get your flashlight on and off, but the screen itself is all black.
Renamon? Just turning over her.
You turn, and Renamon is still in the room, from what you see, like still in the room with your friends. And seems to be like looking around, almost kind of like standing watch, keeping at the door, keeping watch for anyone who might pop in, like eyes closed, kind of just like leaning over the door and watching for anyone. She doesn't respond to anything you call out to her. Everyone still seems to keep moving and doing their thing, looking around.
Weird.
And you'll hear a voice kind of call out from behind you, just, weird indeed. And you'll hear some footsteps as behind you, that same man you just saw walk out with David, white suit, olive green shirt, red tie, nondescript face, walks out of the darkness as if he was sitting in the room in a corner you couldn't see.
Well, being two places at once isn't a trick I've seen before.
Far from the most impressive of my talents.
The other one, how boring your face looks.
Something like that.
Don't suppose you'll tell me what you're doing here?
No, I won't be staying very long. I have other things to worry with. You should probably try to get back to your friends, though. You don't want to do what's ahead. You don't want to make the mistake you're all about to make.
And what is that?
I am not allowed to tell you.
Says who?
Simply the rules of the game.
And who made the game?
That is the right question. Again, I recommend you turn back and go back to your friends right now. Doesn't seem like they've noticed you've walked away just yet, but, maybe turn around and give them a shout. If you're going to do this, you want to do it together. I still think you shouldn't. You don't want to make this mistake. It would be reckless. But...
Well, you can't tell me why it would be a mistake, but why do you want me to turn back? Is it out of the goodness of your heart, or you just don't want me to mess things up for you?
That isn't critically important. Whether or not
No.
whether or not I want you to do this. If you must know, well, maybe I do.
That's still
I was simply, let's say it, I was simply trying to offer you a one-up. A sort of last chance. I want you to do what you're about to do. I want you to make that mistake. But that's not important. What is important is, again, you don't want to be here by yourself. Do you, Fire?
I'm used to being by myself.
I know. Even now, though, after all that time in the digital world, after all this time fighting with Renamon, even now, you still feel this alone? Oh, I keep eyes around everywhere I need to. I might not know everything, but I know what I have to. It's my job.
So did you cause us to all go there?
Me? No. I'm not that powerful. But there is so much power in the digital world. You know that, yes? So much undeniable power.
Yeah, and I know whatever you're doing is destroying the digital world.
I would call it preserving a future that will not be made unless, well, unless plans fall perfectly into place. This has been so long in the making, and heads much bigger than mine would be disappointed if things didn't come to fruition. But, I'm saying too much. You have other things to be worried with. I'll let you know one more time. Go back to your friends. Or at the very least, if you're not willing to go back to them, take a moment and listen to them while you have the quiet.
What do you mean?
Good luck now. And the man turns and walks to like a side of the wall and like goes behind a panel, like not like an outcropping, and you don't see him anymore.
Fire like follows after where he went and like tries to look at where he disappeared.
There's nothing there. The room is, you're still in the room, but there's no man there anymore.
Well, that's either bad or a really weird hallucination.
Fire, you're still in the room by yourself. The door is still open, and you can still see all your friends, who, again, seemingly haven't noticed you walked in here just yet. You're good at being quiet, moving around without being noticed.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird, then, that as you turn back to the door, again, you look at the door frame, you can't really see all of your friends. You can see Rendemont standing there and see, Kian looking around out of the corner of your eye. You can see Isabella kind of vibing around. You can't really see Artemis too well. You try to like angle into the doorway so you can see more, but once you hit the doorway, it's like a wall. But you can't move past it. You can't move past the doorway in the slightest. It's just a wall, an invisible wall.
Well, surprise. He lied about being able to go back. Just gonna like bang a hand on the door.
It's like a muffled, it's like banging your hand on like really hard carving glass. You just hear like a boom, 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 almost like a nothing goes through. Weirdly though, it doesn't seem to be soundproof both ways, as you can absolutely still hear the people on the other side, your friends, actually, still moving around and looking for things, and they appear to be striking up a conversation, just having a bit of a talk. And it's weird, because they might, well, how about I just let you tune in to what they're talking about? The camera pans back through as we see our 3 other Digidestined still moving around the room, searching through things, not reacting to their friend having walked away. And, well, I'll just let them take over from here. What are you guys talking about while you're looking around and chatting?
Ugh. Have y'all found anything? Where'd Fire go?
I haven't found anything.
And Renamon just twitches an ear and just, and I don't notice Fire anywhere. I believe they may have wandered into that other room. They do seem to go wandering pretty often.
Yeah, but they've always been a part of who they are. They're just kind of go and do their own thing.
Yep.
Consequences and other people be damned.
You speak as if this is some sort of pattern in your friendship.
That's an understatement. No.
Elaboration?
Fire's and then Kian does loner.
I mean, like, look, Fire's good to hang out with.
If you even get to
online,
hang out with
but
her.
like, exactly. I mean, I've known Fire for a long time, but there's always like a wall there, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We all have our walls and our secrets. Fox just likes to keep it to herself, and that's fine. To to themselves, and that's fine. I guess totally cool.
Renamon and just, well, I suppose everyone has a right to secrecy, and I would be a hypocrite if I denied someone a right to be aloof. It does, however, make them an ineffective partner. We lack the ability to coordinate in battle. Even you all with your oafish tactics are still coordinated because you communicate in the heat of battle. Fire often doesn't speak when I fight. It's simply, go fight. I find it disgruntling. maybe immature, if I may be honest.
That's like nail on the head, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean,
stopped really communicating on my with them other than, you know, what I have to. And even then, I try to find other ways before talking to them.
it's weird because like when Fox does actually like make the effort, it's like never when you want her to.
Oh, for sure.
Like when we were back at the temple, you remember, I just wanted alone time, and there was Fox. Hard to clear your head when you've got someone in your shadow. And then when you want her there, she's not.
Yeah, very frustrating.
It sucks. You're being nice. It sucks.
Well, you know. Yeah.
Jellymon kind of flops out of the out of the file cabinet and just, I mean, I hate to be like that kind of jelly, but you know, if you all keep saying this person doesn't, I mean, hang around you when you need them, and they're always there when you don't want them, and it sounds like you don't hang out with them outside of like whatever online is when you're back home, why are they even your friend? Sorry if that's a little mean or whatever, but I don't know. They seem like a loner. Like they don't really want friends around, so why be friends with them?
I mean, Renamon's really strong. If we didn't have Renamon here, we'd be toast several times over. But also, like, I don't know. It's too much drama to cut somebody off like that, even if they are being crappy. It's like not crappy enough to actually put your foot down.
Renamon. Yeah. Sorry.
It all depends on what you can tolerate. And I can tolerate Foxfire, I guess, is the best way to explain it.
Isabella Lalamon pops up out of your apron a bit and just, I mean, listen, I hate to follow Jellymon's suit, but we're all literally about love. She even draws like a crest of love with her hands in the air. We're all about love, but at a certain point, if someone's just not around, you have to just stop putting out all that energy to love them. Why bother, you know?
Who said anything about love? I'm just here to work. Like, I'm not. You can hang out with somebody without loving them.
And Renamon pipes in just, and you can be someone's partner without enjoying it. I'll be honest, I can relate to the idea of wanting to get rid of someone. After we fought, Lunamon, so strong, so incredibly powerful. And they got that strong because of training. Training from a dedicated partner who wants to fight with them, to work with them. I should have gone with him. And then it's actually Doramon who pops up and just says, well, then it's decided. I'd say, frankly, we just get rid of them. When they pop back up, let's just tell them, all right, you're kind of useless, scram. Like, you never talk to your peoples. You never hang out. You never tell them where you're going when you're going anywhere. You disappear for far too long and no one ever hears anything from you. It's almost like, why would anyone bother? Let's just say fuck it. Forget them, yeah?
Come on, chill. It's fine. The more people we have, the stronger we'll be. And let's just say, even though they're not the most helpful, it's still better to have them around than to not have them around. It's fine.
Lalamon. Yeah, it's probably better.
You can't queue without a full party, right?
And Lalamon just says, yeah, it's probably best to just not say anything. Let them fade away on their own. They seem to do that anyway. They probably want to. And it's right then and there. Let's slide back over
Already opens the mini fridge.
Mm.
I bet Fox was here first.
Mm-hmm. As we slide back over across that border of the door, fire. You've been hearing the past several few minutes of conversation from the people you've been traveling with for what's at least been for your time, several months. Where are you right now?
I'm trying to hold back some tears falling down from listening to all that, and just brings up the bottle from the miniphage, takes a swig, and then just throws it against the door.
It hits that glass pane and shatters, falls to pieces all around you. You're left in the quiet by yourself as your friends continue to babble on about how they don't want you around, how they don't really need you there, how that's not really... Well, they might as well just get rid of you, honestly, at this point.
And with that, I'll turn around and head to check out the rest of this room on my own. Well,
you turn around and suddenly notice you don't really feel like you're in that office anymore. In fact, it's just gotten darker. Everything's black all around you. You turn and walk away just to get away from the noise, to stop hearing it, and it gets louder. You turn and close your ears, and it gets louder, until all you can hear, overlaying each other, talking over one another in louder and louder voices, is every person you have come close to saying how they no longer want you around. How because you always seem to just walk away, you might as well just disappear. It hits, it pierces through any defense you hold up. Constantly, no matter where you go, what you do, you hear it louder and louder. Every person that's ever mattered to you, repeating how much you don't matter to them. And it's as this happens, Foxfire, as you kind of curl up and try to avoid all of this, you start hearing all the noise surrounding you. You start to... Give me a spirit roll, actually, if you don't mind. I'm sorry to push you out of your emotions right now, but give me a spirit roll. Your difficulty for this is 8. But if you do it... But, if you mess up, you can try again. Here's the other rule you have here. So, again, difficulty 8, spirit roll, may try as you want. Bond points spent are, like, you don't get to keep them for multiple rolls. So the first roll, any bond points spent, there's going for the next roll. You have to try again for the next roll. I'm also going to say you're at setback right now.
Well,
not to pile it on or anything.
Not to pile it on or anything, but you're
gut checking you repeatedly, spree or anything, but you know. Push through for me to give me this roll.
I'm gonna say, screw all that. I was fine before them anyway. Doesn't matter. And use like I care to get back to normal for this spirit check.
Okay.
And then I will spend all of my bond points.
Okay. Before you roll, hold on just 1 second. You're using your like I care trait, and your specific verbiage here is you saying, it doesn't matter, I was fine before them.
Yes.
My question to you, GM to character, player to player here, was that true? Were you fine before you met these people?
No.
Was your life okay?
No, it was not.
And I'm imagining you're probably getting flashes of that as you're saying it. Seeing nights in your apartment by yourself with your cat, waiting in a lobby that was empty for people who you said they were going to log on but just kind of didn't remember. Or seeing the whole party online and sitting in your room by yourself watching YouTube because you just don't feel like it. You don't have the energy. Wandering off through the data forest by yourself, alone. Ignoring your partner. Wondering why you're here. Why you have to be with these people. Go ahead and make that roll for me.
Eight successes.
What I love to hear. Is as you turn, you don't need this. Your tag falls out of your shirt. And you look at that tag and you think, it's been a long few months, hasn't it, Fire?
Yeah.
We've been through a fair bit. Thrown into a brand new world beyond your own comprehension. Partnered with a strange talking animal beast that operates like a ninja and fights as aloof as you do. Trying to figure out a conspiracy that could threaten two separate worlds. Not only kill everyone who you know and love, but destroy this new wondrous world you stepped into. You've gone through so much, haven't you, Fire? And you've gone through more before that. Those nights alone weren't just sitting by yourself. You got through those. Life has been a thing you've gotten through. You've gotten through a whole lot, haven't you, Fire?
Yeah.
But you haven't gotten through it by yourself, have you?
No.
Maybe they were by your side, transforming with their own monster friends to help you take out giant skeleton dragons or knock down data towers. Maybe they were fighting with you one-on-one against a rabbit ninja and some weird dude. Maybe they were online with you talking when you didn't feel like you wanted to be around anymore. Maybe they were playing games with you when things got a bit too hard. But you have never, ever been alone. You will never be alone as long as you have these people close to you. And then it clicks. Then it all clicks. It's not just a hallucination of the room. It's not just that you can't see what's happening here. It's not just that you can't step past the room for whatever reason. Your friends would never say those things about you. Your friends have stood by you every time. When a week and a half went by and you didn't log in, when you haven't talked to them for a fair bit, when you wandered off out of nowhere, you came right back and everyone was there for you, weren't they?
Yeah.
They have never given up on you. And it's then you start to recognize that tag is glowing, a bright blue. There is a symbol lighting up in it, a twisted hurricane helix with a line through it in the middle. The symbol of friendship, your crest of friendship, your reminder that your heart is tied to so many people who, no matter what, will always hold those connections as tight to them as possible. The illusion shatters. The room becomes real around you again. The door closed shut behind you, but not locked. Never locked. The people you love are never impossible to get to. Let's give you a moment to get yourself together, and let's check in on the other side of the door. For real this time, as all of you watch the door slam shut behind Fire the moment they walk into that other room. What do you actually do and talk about in this moment, friends?
I'm going to try to open that door.
It's locked right now, immediately. The moment you grab it, it's locked, like it's locked tight.
Oh, shit!
Dorwan, can you bite it open?
Doraemon goes to the door and is like grabbing at it, trying to get his teeth around the knob, and just like. Anybody else? What else is happening right now?
Artie is like looking for a fire extinguisher because one time he saw somebody use a fire extinguisher to smash a doorknob off of a door in a TV show. Hopefully he finds one.
Isabella, what's going on with you?
Isabella is currently like snuck up right next to the door and is like trying to yell through the cracks to get Fire's attention, or just to check in to see if they're okay, because oh gosh, what just happened? Is there a spooky bad man behind there? Like, there's a lot of panic, and it's just like screaming in the door. It's just like, hello? Fire, can you hear me?
So we've got Isabella at the door hinge trying to yell into it. We've got Kian with their hands around the doorknob and Doraemon's jaws around them gently trying to turn and get the doorknob open. Doraemon just goes, I got an idea, and backs up like they're about to headbutt the door down. Artie has a fire extinguisher and has brought it up. Doraemon is just literally just like got the fist up like they're ready to just punch the door. Who fucking knows? Maybe they're even about to vote knuckle it. Yeah, let's go with that. They're gonna vote knuckle the door down. You all go to do that, and right as you're about to let fly, which remember, you're not supposed to be stealthy here and not letting people know that you're here, but apparently you don't give a damn because your friend's in trouble.
In trouble.
And it's just as you all do that, forgive me, I just got a little emotional myself there. The door opens up. The door swings wide open, and right there is Foxfire. Although you're not able to watch to like see them standing there for long, as they are immediately not vertical, but horizontal. As the moment the door opens, Renamon literally shunshes to where they are and scoops them up. Are you okay? What happened? Are you hurt?
It was weird in there.
There was a spooky bad man.
You look.
What's this spooky bad man do to you?
You look
Lalamon
around.
is like reaching up to like send healing powers because that's one of the skills she has. She's just like,
You look around, and I'm gonna go ahead, and this is where I'm gonna make an executive call. We are going to do a hard cut end without giving our outros tonight. So if you want to know where to find our awesome players tonight, you can go and look for them on the internet, on the Twitters, on the other places they can be found. Put links in the chat if you need to, in Twitch. Put them in Discord if you don't need them. Find in Discord, links right there with the command. I don't care. We've been with the Will. This has been incredible. As Fire, you look around, trying to answer what happened in that strange room with that strange man who exhibits strange abilities. Brenamon holding you. You look in front of you and see Jilliamon with Volt Knuckle ready, Artie holding a fire extinguisher, Doraemon about to headbutt something, Kian jumping over in shock prepared for you, Isabella and Lalamon holding out hands, and you recognize, and crying of course, and recognizing that no matter what happened or what's going to happen, you see your tag fold down, a shimmering bar of blue in the middle with the crest of friendship shining bright, and you recognize that no matter what is coming, you will never face it alone. With that, we have been with the Will. You have all been incredible, and this has been Neon Lights Roleplay. Have a good night, everybody, okay?